Not the crossed hands. This is how Maya holds her hands in every video.
Now you're lying.
Can you just be serious for 1 second?
Hello friends, welcome to our channel. This is Max.
This is Maya.
And we have a lot of new subscribers because this channel is new. So for those of you who haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button because we have more views than subscribers.
Insane. We're so excited.
We post questions and photos on the community wall. So we asked you guys what questions you would have for us. And we're gonna address that here because we're currently in Toronto.
Yeah.
We're staying put for a little while, and because of that, I mean, there's not much, but we'll show you some vlog stuff.
We got some great questions from y'all. So for some of you guys who don't know, there is an age gap between me and Maya. Under social conditions, it might be controversial because Maya is older than me, so it's brought a lot of attention from you guys. I don't think it would have been the same if it was the other way around, but it's funny that it is of interest, and I think it's a relevant question. It was more of a challenge, I'd say, moving into the relationship because there was a lot of stigma, I guess. There was a lot of other pressure that society puts on us that I would take into account and even embody that and create drama that wasn't really there.
Okay, so the age gap between us is 12 years. I'm right now 38 and Max is 26. So initially, I think it was a good thing because our age gap was so big. I just looked at Max as a friend. But then when I started to have feelings for you, I started to get afraid because I'm like, oh my God, there's a 12-year age gap. Like I can't date a guy who's that much younger. And like you said, it has a lot to do with societal constructs. Like all of this, whoever made up these unspoken rules that, you know, women shouldn't date younger men, but it's okay for men to date younger women. So it took, you know, some friends to nudge me, namely, hey Fran, hey.
I love Fran.
She was like, you talk about him all the time. Why, like, you should give him a shot. And I'm like, he's so young, he's this and that. But I'm glad I did. So I guess my fears were just being older, and I think the child thing.
Yeah.
When you're older, again, society says that, you know, you're gonna have difficulties having a kid, so then you talk about that, but that's some people's reality.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's reality. So
but
I guess
it affects us.
Yeah, so it affects us. It affected me, and I was afraid. But once I got over all the fears, I'm just like, ugh, I love you.
It's so funny because it's almost like those fears, they are so artificial in a sense.
Yeah,
they're not really
they're not
there. They're not real.
Were you afraid to like tell your parents?
No.
No.
I remember telling my parents, and there were concerns I remember from my dad's side that
oh really?
Yeah, he was like so pragmatic with it because he was like, society tells me, so it's like as a father I would be protective and be like, who's this woman? Is she taking advantage of a younger man? Like what is her past? Like, you know, because he didn't know you.
Yeah.
But he said that it was only like what do you call, like the voice in his head of like, this is how, like, I should.
She's a predator.
Yeah.
She's a cougar.
Well, you know.
Trying to take advantage of this young meat.
Yeah. And then my mom just said she doesn't look that old. So that was, she's like, that's my mom, and that was my dad.
My mom was actually supportive.
Yeah.
I was afraid to tell my mom the age gap, and she was like, oh, it doesn't even matter. Atinin is 15 years older than your uncle. And I was like, 15 years? I didn't know this. So my mom, thank you, Mom, for giving me your blessings.
Well, other fears, I would say, I think there was a part of me that was afraid because I was in the beginning of my career sort of climbing and sort of trying to plant my seeds, building a network, building a legacy or whatever. Whereas you were already at a point where you've done that.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that would have been at like a clash in terms of like you not wanting to be part of my journey, and me also, I didn't want to feel like you had to slow down for me to grow.
How do you feel about that?
No, I think we've found a very good balance in that. And I'm not afraid of that anymore. I think I'm on my journey and you're on your journey. And I think we can respect one another and appreciate our journeys for what it is. But as a partnership, we're just growing stronger, I think.
And I think that's a good segue into the next question.
Professionally, we do have an off-screen working relationship as well, which is your brand. I work as a videographer, editor / photographer, and you have your brand, which requires those services. So a very convenient way for us to work together has been you hiring me for your projects, which is aside from YouTube, which has been very challenging.
Yes.
To begin with.
Let's talk about those challenges.
If I just start with my challenges, is that I am, again, a very emotional person. And in the influencer world, which I was completely ignorant towards, like I saw the influencer world with the most ignorant, the most prejudiced way of like, oh, it's just posting a photo of yourself and like, take a photo of yourself and post it or make a video quickly. Like, the amount of work that it requires is so huge.
Yeah.
The reason why even brands hire influencers is because they can do quick turnover as opposed to hiring like a big production company. Every brand deal, you're finding the clock. You think you have a lot of time, but it never works out that way. And you are so experienced with that you know what needs to be done, whereas I need time to process. I like to take my time. If things move too fast, I tend to get stressed, which is, I think, is to do with my age and inexperience, but also my persona. So that has been a clash a lot of the times, because you can come across as almost rude sometimes. And I think, but it's not personal, because it's just straightforward, and I internalize that and take it personally, which has been one of the challenges.
And then I think the challenge from my side is, previously when I worked with other editors, they weren't sitting beside me. Like, I'd watch it and I would make notes, like time code, edit this, time code, do that. But he's right there. And so you see my honest reaction when I'm seeing something. I'm like, why is it bumpy? Why is it shaky? And I need to learn how to just make a note. But the challenges were at home. So I think that's been my challenge. Like, I vocalize what I think, and I think I need to focus on just making notes because you're here. Like, the videographer editor is here. And
he's also your husband.
And he's my husband.
And he's my husband.
I think the challenge is, for example, we were in Montreal and we were with our friend Diana and we were going tobogganing. And Max was filming a lot. And sometimes I just want, and this is probably why I stopped vlogging on my main channel, because I just want to be present in the moment. I don't want to have a camera in between me and my friends and this experience of like tobogganing down a snow sled. And all of a sudden you're like, you know, like, whoa, look at that. I mean, it was fun, but like, it would be more fun if we weren't doing this. See more questions.
You've also worked for me. I hired you for a project.
Oh, you didn't hire me. I volunteered. I was your volunteer PA. So Max,
but it was so good.
It was so much fun. Because, you know, Max has always been supporting me. And so the dynamic is usually employer-employee. And you got a job. Now it's my turn to be the employee to the employer.
You did such a good job. She was like,
I was like the producer.
She was the producer. She had everything like written down, and she was like, "Oh, we're spending too much time on this shot. We have to move on if we're gonna make this." And
he was so annoyed with me.
Yeah, but like the producer's job is annoying to everyone. Like, that's just the reality of being on set. Like, the producer has the facts, and they're always most of the time right as well. And when you're like in the creative process of like, I want to get this shot perfectly fine, and she's like, we don't have time. It's annoying, but you're also right.
That was fun.
It was fun.
So it was so cute. So it was a project. Actually, we should link it here.
Yeah.
It was featuring Max's dad.
Yeah.
So it was so cute.
He's
It's
my
like
go-to
your dad,
actor. Yeah.
your
A family project.
Yeah, your dad was acting, you were directing, and I was like assisting,
Yeah.
PAing, producing. It was the cutest thing, and I'm like, of course, in the countryside, this is how we get creative. What do you look forward to as a couple and as individuals in the next
As a family, what I look forward to is to keep creating together.
Anything,
really,
creative.
like creative. And I also want us to build a family. I want us to find a nest, a home that will be our base. Like,
we have a home.
yeah, but like I want to get to our home,
Oh, yeah.
to move into a more sustainable lifestyle, to plant my seeds. I love harvesting. I love cooking with the food that we're
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
And I want to take it to the next level and just become better and better, learn from neighbors and other farmers together like we've been doing. So we've been volunteering at a few farms in our
in the
where we lived
past.
in the past.
In Sweden.
So I would like to do that even more.
Yeah.
My individual goal is to keep making films, short films and features that are my passion and my style, and deliver messages that I can relate to, and hopefully inspire other people with that. That's my side goal.
Growing our family, being stationary, being back in Sweden, that is like the biggest one. Planting, harvesting, learning as much about sustainability. I think that's the biggest wake-up call I got this year.
Yeah, me too.
And now with
By far.
Texas, how are you going to shut off? I mean, it was a winter blizzard or whatever that went through there, and like no power. Like because of that, I'm like, we need to get a backup generator. We need to get solar panels. Just being as self-sustainable as possible while still being a part of a community. And individually, I put a lot of things on hold because I've been moving like nonstop, and it will be for like almost a year this summer. So it would be nice to pursue and pick back up the passions that I kind of pinned. Writing. Instead of writing for a show, I've kind of pivoted, and I want to do more
Dope writer.
independent writing, as in like things that I could do on the countryside and not in a room or a studio.
Maybe there's a potential collaboration coming here.
I'm done working with your ass.
No, you're not, though. You enjoy working with me, don't you? Like, what about Swedish electrician?
Oh yeah, like I would like to properly learn Swedish. For me, I think being in Sweden will help. I am doing a very poor job on the road, but I am using, podcast, cartoons. I'm doing as much as I can, but it is so frustrating living out of a suitcase and bouncing around. It's the most disruptive thing you can do. I don't know how people can be like nomad travelers. Like to me,
it's
I'm
a
like,
lifestyle. Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It just disrupts everything. Like that's my excuse for why I haven't been consistent in a lot of things.
But I think all the time that you have put in is not wasted, because it will come back to you at some point. Once you dig in deeper to it, the podcasts and the classes that you've done will come back to you.
For the Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't think that you've been wasting your time, because you've done a good.
No, I
hard
feel
work.
like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, I know, but even that, like, I think you've done enough considering the circumstances. She has. She's doing well. She's very hard on herself. And also, Swedish is a very hard language.
Swedish is so hard.
I can imagine.
Like, talk to me in Swedish.
Ja, men det är svårt att kunna säga liksom någonting på rak arm egentligen, vad som är svårt med språket. Men det jag vet är att det är otroligt svårt som svensk att ens kunna lära ut. För att det sitter bara i ryggmärgen liksom. Det går inte att förklara.
Aha. What do us two that come from seemingly different worlds, seemingly different generations, what do we have in common?
What do we have in common?
I think the first one is humor.
Humor, yeah. I think that has been the foundation of our whole relationship, even as friends. We were laughing our butts off.
Yeah.
From
the first
day. Like,
yeah,
I
we
would
were
say,
we were giggling over a guy who was like trying to like prop himself up in our conversation.
Yeah.
We were talking about like films
and
'cause
acting school.
Yeah, acting school, and we were like vibing, and some guy is like, "Yeah, I was an actor and I did commercials."
No, you have to do it with the Aussie accent.
Oh right, yeah, I'm an actor and I've been in loads of commercials. Yeah, so
Cowboy specifically, a lot of cowboy commercials.
So anyway, that's why Max and I were just laughing. We were like looking at each other, and I didn't even know him, and we're like.
Like, it's just small details, like me thinking that you were called, like your name was actually Molly, and it's like that has been
Molly,
like,
right?
Yeah,
I thought he was being one of those douchebags that
No, I was like,
deliberately says your name wrong.
Space kidder. Like
He
I
was like, Molly, right? I'm like, no, it's Maya. How do you get Molly and Maya confused?
no, Molly.
Dylan, son of a bitch. What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
Okay.
We laugh, I think, too much sometimes together.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like,
Can you laugh too much? I guess.
sometimes he's too extreme. Like sometimes I'm like, this is not okay.
What do you mean?
Walking up the steps. This guy is, he's too much. On the surface appearance, like, Mo Buck and John.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. He used to go to jazz bars and drink red wine. So I think that's...
What does that mean?
I think that's who some people think you are. But then, like...
Name one person from the first time they met me think I am a guy who goes to jazz bars and drink wine.
We got neighbors. I don't know, but that's...
So you're just talking. That's what you
But
think.
it's funny because he's so ridiculous, like so ridiculously funny. And I think I am too. And I don't know how much of that shows online.
Yes, it does.
To the show?
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it. What else do we have in common?
I think what we have in common is like independence. Like we both
True.
lived in different countries. When you were younger, when I was younger, we both at a very early age moved abroad. Like
Yeah.
I say abroad because you moving to Vancouver from Toronto is further away from home than I moved
That's
from
true.
Sweden to the UK.
Because that's 5-hour plane
Yeah,
ride.
whereas mine is 2 hours.
That's true.
It might sound like just an action, like something. Yeah, they both moved abroad, but I think the core experience that comes from that is
Curiosity.
The curiosity. I think that's the what do you call it? Like the catalyst for even doing that decision.
Yeah, we're both that curious.
And we can relate to each other a lot. Even like
Yeah.
not just like, oh, I lived abroad too. It's like everything that we do is sort of relatable because it comes from a place of curiosity.
Yeah, we're both very curious. We both ask a lot of questions. I might ask a little too many questions if you ask me. Oh yeah, the cultural differences.
The cultural differences. I know that you had issues, or not issues, but you had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What would you? Maybe I'll just let you speak about it.
I just had challenges with, because again, I've said this on my channel, but I'll say it here. I had been going into relationships with this idea that I should date people I look like or can relate to on that level, because the people who I look like share the same experiences, so they would understand. But when I was like doing a lot of reprogramming, because I really wanted to be in a healthy relationship, and going to a therapist, she helped me realize like a lot of the things I was holding on to aren't that important. So the things that were important is to be seen, understood, and heard.
Yeah.
And when I opened my mind to that, you know, I was dating a lot of different types of people, but who I related to the most was you.
It was so far away from your.
And it was so far away from, I guess, my mood board, my vision board.
Yeah. Your background, your screensaver.
Yeah, it was like the Obamas, or
Yeah.
a few years ago before that was the Cosbys. But how does that resonate with you?
Well, the whole race thing have never been. I think it was very, like, I'd say that in the US it's a hot topic, right?
Yeah.
You refer to like like colors all the time. Like, oh, he's white. Oh, that white guy or that black guy. Oh, is he black or white? Like it's so like integrated into your daily life and how you communicate. So for me, like I've never really reflected upon that at all, because like you said,
you've reflected it.
Yeah, I reflect. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, I have reflected on it, but it's like you said, like in the US it seems to be like it's white and you're black, whereas in Europe it's like you're
Swedish,
German,
Scottish,
Scottish.
yeah.
Like there's completely different cultures and different stories.
Same with outside of the US, like in Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
You are not just Ugandan, but you're from a specific area and tribe.
Yeah. So I wasn't like I lived. So I've been coming back and forth to Uganda for an X amount of time. Working with a lot of, that's another story, but I think that was the first time I really realized that I was white, because I was now addressed as a Mzungu, which means white man. So for the first time, as I walked out my door, I was constantly under like the spotlight, because I looked different and I was treated differently. I probably have been treated differently in a society by not being aware of it, but because it was so obvious. I think sometimes you have to experience that in order to go back and really reflect on in detail of the life that you're used to. I was now stuck with my race and the privilege that have come with that, because I can't argue that that's my other friends who come with other backgrounds have had different stories and other difficulties that I could never relate to, but it wasn't until that experience where I even became open, I think, for the conversation and to understand. But me going into a relationship with someone of another culture, another color, there was nothing that happened in my life to make me feel reluctant or more.
They say,
and I don't know why.
I was reading a study that it says that women are more inclined to date within their race, and men are more open.
Yeah.
So there was a study that was done. I feel like culture could be a whole documentary.
Yeah, it can. It's literally like and I get so excited of one subject and I want to like talk. It's so hard to condense it. Because it lies close to my heart, and also we should have a podcast for that, maybe. Maybe not for a YouTube video.
A podcast, a 1 hour.
Yet another 3-hour podcast.
Who else wants to see Max and Maya start a podcast?
I don't think we have time for that.
No, we don't have time. We have no time for nothing.
I don't know. Do you think
Thank you for all your questions. If you have any more, let us know in the comments below, and we'll address them in a future Q&A video.
I know that you've been appreciating the vlogs. Thank you so much for the kind words of the previous videos. We will, we promise that we will.
We'll do a Toronto.
We'll do a Toronto one as well, and we'll keep documenting our journey, as well as what physical places we're in, mental stages we're in. All this chaotic roller coaster will come to the final destination.
Oh, and P.S. just an update. We don't know when we're going back yet, but we'll keep you posted. When we do hear, you will be one of the first people to find out.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. This is Snots video.
Can you just be serious for 1 second? Okay.
Hello. What should we call them? Hello, M&Ms?
M&M's, friends. M&M's friends.
Hello, friends. Welcome
Family.
to... Friends? M&M's?
M&M's, okay.
I don't know. This is so weird. We'll just stay
Squirrel.